I'm so hungry right now. I could eat a horse. Wait a minute. Ah! Hi. As you can see from the first video, for our presentation on BIO464, our group will be presenting on cannibalism. So what is cannibalism? Cannibalism is the eating of any animal within the same species. If a tiger eats a deer, that's just simply predation. However, if a praying mantis eats another praying mantis, that is called cannibalism. It is very common in the animal kingdom and even humans, especially in the olden days. It is nasty and you shouldn't eat your own kind. So, cannibalism is a mechanism that promotes the survival of the same species by reducing competition. This competition, also known as food, shelter, and even mate. It can also occur due to environmental pressure and predation. For some species, eating other animals, eating their own kind, is one of the most effective way of them to live out their life. So this is what we call the environmental pressure. You don't have to worry at all because cannibalism is just a short-term process where extinction will not happen at all. Most of cannibalism comes from the species that produces many offspring, so therefore it won't have the extinction will not happen. And now my friends will talk about cannibalism in every family of animals.
Hi, moving on to insects. A species named Menthodia, or we might know as praying mantis, is also undergo cannibalism in order to survive, to get their food, and during mating. Sexual cannibalism is common amongst praying mantis. Typically, the female is the aggressor, which encourages male to approach the female carefully and cautiously when mating. Study found that female mantises ate male after mating. They had starved female for several days prior. In natural conditions, praying mantis are more comfortable with male not being dead after mating. That said, if either female is hungry, and she will bite his head off. However, according to the experts, some male praying mantises go on attack instead. They wrestle and sometimes seriously injure the female in an attempt to mate and to avoid being eaten. Interestingly, getting eaten may not be as bad as it sounds. A study published in 2016 found that when female Chinese mantises consumes their mates, they acquire important amino acids that are then incorporated into the eggs that they lay. They also appear to lay as twice as many eggs after cannibalizing a male than they normally would. So, while the male would probably be better off to live and mating with other female mantises, at least it seems his nutrient give his DNA an elevated chance of getting passed on to the next generation. Although it may benefit the individual, it has been shown that the presence of cannibalism decreases the expected survival rate of the whole population and increases the risk of pathogen transmission as the encounter rate of hosts increases.
So in this section, I'll be talking about cannibalism in animals, especially mammals. Hippopotamus are large semi-aquatic mammals with a large barrel-shaped body, short legs, and a short tail. They also have enormous head, with their eyes, nose, and ears are located on top of their head, which means they can see and breathe while submerged in water. Hippopotamus' scientific name is Hippopotamus amphibius. They are omnivorous type. The reason why hippopotamus committed cannibalism is because of extreme hardship. They need to consume food when the food is limited in the area. When the food resources is limited in the area, hippopotamus tend to commit cannibalism rather than die or being sick. David Fennick, a biologist at the University of North Carolina, Chapel Hill, said one of the advantages of eating their own species is it is perfectly packaged form of nutrient that hippopotamus are likely need. As for the disadvantage, when hippopotamus committed cannibalism, they do not know that there is a spread of pathogens between them.
This slide, I am going to talk about the cannibalism in amphibians. There is a few cannibalism in amphibian, which is frogs, salamanders. But I choose tiger salamanders. The scientific name is Ambystomata tigrinum. The tiger salamanders begins life with munching aquatic crustacean, but about the 4 weeks of birth, they began to develop a wider heads and enlarged teeth. By having so, they tend to cannibal their own species, but they only eat the other relatives of salamanders. How to recognize their own siblings is by producing smell on the body. By doing so, they will know which is the non-relative, which is their relative. And the reason they have to cannibal is to remove some of the competition among them in the lake or in the pond, so that they could have a larger valuable resources. The advantage of cannibalism is they will have more valuable resources, and their own sibling could freely have the food in the lake all by themselves. But for the disadvantage is it will have a high occurrence of disease due to bacterial infection. We all know that the tiger salamanders kind of have toxic substances in their body, so when they eat each other's species, it will tend to develop the infection among them, resulting in the entire population can be destroyed due to the bacterial infection.
Many fish indiscriminately cannibalize each other during foraging behavior. Fish produce large numbers of offsprings, and adults exhibit about as much as individual recognition of their offspring. Baby fish are not just at risk of being cannibalized by adult, siblings eat each other too. For example, sand tiger shark. Sand tiger shark eggs develop and hatch inside their mother's uterus at different times. The female sand tiger shark, has 2 uteri and produce many eggs. Each litter yields just 2 pups, which is 1 from each uterus. That is because as the shark develop their embryonic teeth and run out of yolk from their egg, they start to eat the other embryos, killing their unborn brothers and sisters, as well as the unfertilized eggs, also known as embryonic cannibalism. It is survival of the fetus in the womb until only 1 shark remains in each uterus. Because of their pre-birth diet, sand tiger pups enter the world bigger than other pups. They are also well-nourished, experienced predators who stand more chance of surviving.
In a nutshell, cannibalism is a major part of life in the animal kingdom. It's the circle of life. Thank you.